he had said nothing of substance, and he just raises his voice to try and win an argument. You can't. People
So you
like
guys
that
didn't
just
resolve
don't.
it. So he's still mad at you?
Yeah, yeah, I don't care.
My next guest is coming off a big win this past weekend over Jamie Pickett, UFC Vegas 78 on August 12th. It is Josh Fremd back here on the program. Josh, how are you?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. Glad to be back here chopping it up with you.
Yeah, it means you're coming off a win, which is great. Another good performance here. I know you didn't get the finish, but you got to be pretty happy with that win. Pretty decisive, right?
Uh, I'm happy with the win. Yeah, I've been trying to like talk myself off a ledge the past 2 days. I'm happy with the win. Yes. Could I have put on a better performance? Yes. Could I have gotten the finish on multiple occasions? I feel yes. Um, I just didn't feel like I performed as good as I could have or as I had envisioned, going into the fight. But I am happy for the win. Winning in the UFC is hard, so I'm happy I did it.
Anything about him you weren't expecting? Like anything surprised you in the fight?
He was very patient at first. I was expecting him to be a little more aggressive. As the fight went on, he started falling back into his old habits and he started darting in, which is what I was waiting for. I was trying to get him, trying to draw that out of him so I could land that jump knee, or I practiced a bunch of different counters for his darts in. But yeah, he was very patient this time.
You get the win. Obviously, you knew probably going to the scorecards, you had your hand raised. How did you celebrate after a big win like that?
Me and my coaches, we went and got a bunch of tacos, a bunch of beers, went out, walked around the strip for a bit. Nothing too crazy, called it a night, and then caught the flight back to Denver the next morning.
There you go. That's smart. Late nights and early flights. I'm the same way. Get out, get in, and get out as much as you can. I guess you probably didn't have time to go to Top Golf, right? That's always a fun thing to do in Vegas.
No, I would have loved to. Didn't have time though, but we got a Top Golf out here in Denver, and I'm gonna be going home to Pittsburgh here shortly to visit some family. So I might get in there once or twice.
Good. Yeah. The Vegas ones are amazing. If you go at night, especially, I went back in November and it was like, it was like up to high, and then you just see all the hotel lights. It's really cool. So that's great.
That is sick.
So yeah, you mentioned it there, going home to Pittsburgh, I'm sure, to see some friends and family. What's the plan as far as the next fight? When are you looking to get in there? I guess enjoy some time with the family and then get right back in.
Well, that was the last fight on my contract. So
That's right.
I am waiting to hear from my management team, from the UFC. I'm a little, like I said, unhappy with my total performance, so I'm not going to take too much time off. I'm going to go visit family. I don't have any vacations or anything besides just going to see family, nothing crazy. And then I'm going to get back to Denver, hop back in the gym, and I'd like to be ready, in case something pops up, someone falls out. I want to get one more in for the year for sure.
Do you feel like you had a finish in the fight previously against Trayshawn Gore, someone that they were, obviously pumping pretty hard as well. Are you feeling good about, being re-signed by the UFC? I'm sure they will, but just any doubts at all, any worries?
Yeah, so at first I was super bummed out because I know I could have performed better, missed the mark with the weight. So I'm very ashamed about that. And I've been trying to like turn my, focus to, they'll resign me. I'm on a 2-fight win streak. And if they don't resign me, well, I'm on a 2-fight win streak in the UFC. So I have options afterwards, but I want to stay in the UFC. I want to fight in the UFC. It's been my goal my entire life. So this is where I want to stay. And I'm starting to feel a little more positive, like I feel like they will.
Yeah, for sure. By the way, I messed up there. I know the Gore fight didn't go your way. It was the Dumas fight you won by stoppage. My bad. Got that mixed up, which actually leads me to my next question. So we did our interview, and I noticed the day after, Dumas went off on Instagram, like talking about how you were disrespectful. And I'm pretty sure it was from our interview, but I went back and watched. I'm like, I don't remember you saying anything like out of line or anything. My buddy Zach, shout out to him if he's watching this, kind of tipped me off. But then I saw, didn't you guys go live on Instagram? Like, what happened? Because I'm sure you saw it too, with him saying like, oh, you shouldn't be talking like this about me or something.
Yeah, I was at practice and I get back to my phone and he's blowing me up on Instagram, trying to get me to join his live. And I was confused too. I was like, wait a minute, what? And I went back and I listened to it, and I guess what he's interpreting as disrespectful is me comparing him to Jamie Pickett. I remember saying Jamie Pickett was probably like a more a well-rounded version of Cedric Dumas, just, he's been in there more. He has more experience. And
Yeah.
he took that offensively. So he got
Okay.
all mad, and then we got on live for a little bit. I had some free time. I was bored. So I was like, all right, let me hop on, talk to him. He had said nothing of substance, and he just raises his voice to try and win an argument. You can't, people
So you
like
guys
that.
didn't resolve it. So he's still mad at you?
Yeah, yeah, I don't care. I don't
Well, it
care.
was just like, I honestly, like, I do so many fighter interviews. I've seen plenty of fighters say very disrespectful things. Like, that is very low. Like, I don't even think, like, I'm just shocked that it was even something, it was even a thing. Cause like, I think you pretty much said, cause I remember like thinking in the interview, and I'm like, I think you just said he has more experience, which is true. Like, he's a
Yeah,
veteran, right?
it's
So,
just no feelings, all facts.
yeah, so that was crazy. Yeah, I did happen to notice that, and I'm like, man, because I don't want to be that guy to like cause a rift between fighters either. But I don't think, like, again, neither of us in that interview were like disrespecting him whatsoever. I think we just talked about the win and how you were being counted out, right? That was the big thing.
Yeah,
Oh.
that was one of the things, and I don't know. Hopefully, good luck to him on his next fight.
Yeah, there we go. Well said. Well said. Very good answer. By the way, going back to Pittsburgh, I'm a big hockey fan. Do you follow the Penguins at all, or are you kind of off the
I do.
hockey thing?
I don't follow them quite as closely as the Pirates or Steelers because I didn't grow up playing hockey. But I
Right.
became more of a fan of it just because of my buddies in college are huge Pens fans. But yeah,
Because they made a big trade in the offseason. I don't know if you saw, they got Eric Carlson from the Sharks, and that's like he's like a really like good defenseman who was just like on a really bad team. And so Kyle Dubas, who used to manage the Leafs, he's now like kind of the manager of the Penguins now, and they just made a big deal. So there's some excitement because like this is kind of the last run with the band together, right? With Crosby and Letang and Evgeny
yeah.
Malkin. So there's some excitement, I think, in Pittsburgh. I was just curious your thoughts on that, but
I've been seeing that, and I've been seeing that in my group chats with my buddies. But I don't follow too closely, but that's pretty much what you said is the gist of what I'm hearing. Like it's, one last go, buckle our boots down, get some good players in to fit the positions and make a run at it. And
yeah.
hey, hockey time in Pittsburgh is always fun.
Yeah, I went to I can't remember if I told you the story or not. If I am, apologies. But my dad is a huge fan of Sidney Crosby, and Tristan Jarry, who plays goalie, he's from where I live. So my dad got tickets to the Penguins and Canucks. We're at Vancouver. I live in Vancouver, and he accidentally bought tickets in Pittsburgh, and he couldn't sell them. And he's like, "What are we going to do?" And I said, "Why don't we just go to the Pittsburgh and like see the game? It would be cool." So we went down there, and actually, I know Hunter Homistek as well. So I know Hunter because Hunter and I used to work together. So I ended up meeting up with him, and then we went to the game that night. And Pittsburgh's a pretty cool city. I've never been there. I just there the one time. But
Yeah, it's a fun place to be, and especially the past couple of years, it's been having a lot of like major improvements, more restaurants, more things to do around the city. So it's an awesome place.
yeah, I'll have to ask Hunter what restaurant we went to. It was like a little like kind of mom and pop like kind of deli place, but it was really good. I had a really good sandwich there. I can't remember the name of it, but I'll have to ask him. This story just took a nosedive because I can't remember the name of the restaurant, but it's all good. So yeah, so when again are you leaving for Pittsburgh? Is it in a few days or when are you heading back?
Yeah, just grab a plane ticket to go home. I'll probably be home for like a week or two, see the family, hang out with my nieces and nephews, go train a bit, see my old coaches, and then get back to Denver and get back on the grind. I like I said, I want one more this year. I would love to be able to hop on a card with one of my teammates in September, October. That'd be awesome.
That's good. Any like, do you just kind of keep the weight down just in case and kind of like stay ready just in case something like that pops up? Are you kind of anticipating that the next fight will be then, so to speak?
I'm just gonna anticipate on keeping my weight low, get with a nutritionist so that I don't have this mistake ever again. Because being a wrestler my whole life, that's a little shameful on my part, missing weight. So I'm gonna do the right things, fix what I messed up, and make sure that I'm just gonna hit 185 on the dot. I'm not even gonna use that extra pound next time.
Okay. Well said. Before we go, they just announced the title fight in your division. Sean Strickland, Israel Adesanya. How do you think that fight plays out? How do you see it going down?
I see Israel Adesanya winning, but man, wouldn't it be crazy? Sean Strickland, a champion in the UFC. That would be hilarious.
Do you think like people ask like how Sean could win? I think like maybe there's a possibility he could win a decision because he's a tough guy to finish. Like his only stoppage loss at middleweight is Pereira, right?
Yeah, he's a tough guy to get out of there. And I mean, I don't know how he wins. I don't see how he can really out wrestle him or, clinch him against the cage. He's not going to outstrike him, but I know, I don't know, but this sport is crazy. Crazier things have happened, you know?
Absolutely. Josh, thanks for doing this, man. I'm not going to get in the way of your errands. I know you got a busy day today. If there's anyone you want to thank before we get out of here, any sponsors, any social media you want to mention, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, you can go check me out on Instagram at Josh Fremd MMA. I want to give a huge shout out to my team at Factory X, my coaches, Mark Montoya, Scotty Miller, Busy, everyone at Factory X. You guys are nothing but awesome, and you're helping me live my dream. Thank you.